What's going on, guys? It's Tim and Mike from TM Academy here to analyze the top 8 and the metagame for the European International Championships. Those recently just happened this past weekend over in London. They had an incredible top 8, a big wide variety of decks that we can look at and analyze here. Then we had some cool wins as well. Someone who finally got a win that normally
shout out Alex Shishmansky.
Alex Shishmansky got a win when he has been begging for one for a long time. He's come so close, but hasn't quite got there. So today we're going to be looking at the metagame and all the deck lists. Let's just get right into it.
So let's start out by looking at some of the. This was the spread for day one, and there was a total of 1,517 players, which is like really.
That's a high.
Really good.
That's a high amount, yes.
Especially for a EUIC. I think they said the last one had like 900 or something.
Yes. Also
Crazy.
worth noting that this is the metagame for the new meta.
This is day one.
The first time that we've had the Scarlet and Violet cards available in tournament play. So this is going to give you kind of an idea of what is going to be happening going forward. We're going to see probably some go up, some go down. There'll be a little bit of wiggle room, but for the most part, these are the decks that are here to stay going forward until our Paldea Evolve set.
So your main deck that Seldom wants to play at 20% is variations of Lost Zone Box.
Yeah.
That can be Sable Zard. That could be just any like single prize or Lost Zone deck. Maybe you got Raikou V in there too. Some other tech cards, but that's pretty much it.
And this wasn't too unexpected. Everybody knew that Lost Box, aside from losing Scoop Up Net, was pretty much keeping all of its pieces. It was losing the Amazing Rare cards, but not too bad.
Yeah.
But you got the Nuzation that came out that's in there. Of course, like you said, Radiant Charizard, Radiant Greninja. You have a wide spread of cards that you can use with this deck, and it's still just as powerful as it used to be. Just slowed down slightly because Scoop Up Net is gone. But you have Beach Court, and you just play more Switch cards. But everything else is getting slowed down as well, so that slowing down is kind of okay.
Losing the Amazing Rares is okay because most of the time you were probably using an Amazing Rare. If you're using like Amazing Rare Raikou, that was helpful in the mirror match.
Yeah.
Rayquaza was good against hitting those bigger prize Pokemon, those 300 health Pokemon, but you don't see as many of that either.
Yeah.
So not too shocking. And then right up after it, this is more shocking to me. I thought Lugia would take a bigger dip after rotation.
Yeah.
No, 18%.
Single Strike Energy kept Lugia in the mix. Single Strike Energy allowing it to ramp. It basically powerful energy before, which was increasing its damage output by 20 per energy. Single Strike Energy kind of took that mantle, and now you're applying it to things like Tyranitar V. You're applying it to things like Stone Journer, Single Prizer. We'll look at the deck lists that made top 8 and show you exactly what they have going on. But it was here to stay, unfortunately.
Now, brand new deck at like about 12% here is Gardevoir EX featuring Zacian V as its main attacker there. I don't think this is a shocker. I think everybody thought Gardevoir was going to be the best deck coming into rotation.
But still not great.
Not as great, but I
like it a lot, and we'll talk about a deck list that made in the top 8 as well.
I've
been playing Gardevoir personally with the Mewtwo V Union. I'm going to drop that. I had planned to drop it last week going into some of our locals, but then I played some meme decks. But yeah, I plan on dropping it and putting some new stuff in. And then we're still the same argument. Rare candy, no rare candy. I think that argument was answered this weekend. We'll talk about it. But yeah, Gardevoir, a great deck. Much slower than the rest of these decks, but still a great deck.
Keeps up pretty well.
Yes.
11.6%. You also have Mew VMAX.
We knew this.
This deck is not going anywhere for a long time. It is just very consistent. It's funny, they print counter cards for it. And you run Path, Mew starts running Path, you run Drapion, Mew runs his own Drapion.
Yes.
Nothing can slow this deck down enough to where it's out of the meta.
Yeah,
I think it's in a decent spot now. I
think it is too. It's in check more than it was, because it was on a rampage there for a while before we got like those bigger events coming back into person. Yeah. In person after COVID. And people were hating it, but it's in check now. With Drapion really, I think, put it the most in check out of any of the cards you listed. But yeah, This is 100% expected for this deck, and it's not going anywhere for a good long while.
And then we got about 8.8% here is Lost Zone featuring Giratina V-Star.
Yeah.
People have been ranting about this for a little while. Giratina is great. Hits for that 280 number, knocks out.
It's a good number.
Almost everything you're seeing here. And then it can even knock out the 310 Pokemon
with Choice Belt.
With Choice Belt, or also using its V-Star attack.
Star Requiem, yeah.
So there's a good way for Giratina to stay in the competition here. And then lastly at 7.7% is Lost Box with Goodra V-Star. So Goodra seemed to be a lot of players' pick this week. At least the ones I follow. I think Piper was playing it. Mahone.
Yeah, Goodra was a pick for sure.
I'm not sure what Azul was playing this weekend, but he might have even been playing Goodra too.
Uh-huh.
So that was day 2. Let's compare.
That was day 1.
Sorry, day 1. Let's compare it to day 2 and see which decks kind of showed up or dipped out.
Yeah. So this is the day 2 spread. 158 total decks making it day 2. 13% of people just using random stuff. But this was the big spread here. Lugia climbing to the top.
This was the big one.
Yeah.
Lugia is at 27.2%, gaining like a whole 9%.
Yeah. So Lugia, the most dominant deck.
Best performing deck at the tournament.
Yeah, most dominant deck going into day 2, followed by Lost on Box, which we talked about.
Which actually fell off a little bit.
Yeah, and then Goodra climbed a decent amount.
Nearly doubled. There was...
So, yeah.
I think 7.7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodra had a very good performance. Mew stayed right where it was.
Right where you expected.
Frankly, Gardevoir didn't move too much either, from 11.8 to 10%.
Yeah, just a slight dip.
And then Giratina V-Star dropped about 3%.
Yeah. But the big change being Lost Box and Lugia kind of swapping places there.
Yeah, this is a majority of your decks here. Only 13% using other decks. We got played. I thought Dondozo made day 2.
Yeah, but it was just a Guardy. He was a Guardy. We thought for a second.
Yeah, it would have been exciting. So... anything here shock you really?
No, nothing too shocking. I would have expected Giratina to show up more personally. I thought Giratina was a good play going into this event. It hits those big numbers like you talk about. I guess the Guardy matchup is probably a little rough because of the single prizers. But especially the Arctina variant, I thought could climb much, much higher. Lugia, I expected to be this high.
I think this is a little shocking for me. I think people probably didn't come in expecting to need to counter Lugia that hard.
Yeah.
But Lugia is just, it's good.
I don't know. For the most part, I thought, it was here to stay. I was hoping it would fall off, but I knew that it wouldn't. I expected Lost Box to be number 1 for day 2. But other than this, nothing in this list is too shocking.
No. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our top 8 here.
Yes. So starting out at the bottom here, you got Robert Kinbram playing the lone top 8 Miraidon Regieleki.
I think he was for the fans.
Everybody was
fans. Excited to see this deck make it.
Followed by Lugia Duraludon, which the other list is also just Lugia Duraludon. It's the pictures there. So Eric Rodriguez, Trevor Reed, both playing Lugia Duraludon. Aiden Koos playing Goodra Lost Box variant. Pedro Torres playing the Lost Box with the Zard, Sable Zard variant. Pablo Meza with his very, very consistent Mew list, which we'll talk about.
Interesting list.
Yep. Tord Redcliffe being dethroned finally as just the GOAT of all GOATs playing Gardevoir. Very exciting to see Gardevoir make it into day 2 in the top 8. And then an Arceus Duraludon list, which was an insane call in my opinion. That's an insane meta call. You got it a couple down here. You can see 12th place and 10th place both playing an Arceus Duraludon or Arceus Vulpix.
Yeah.
Like, crazy call in my opinion. It wasn't even a deck I was even thinking would be important going into the weekend. And Alex Kamansky finally securing himself a dub. He's been so close.
He has a lot of second places on his record.
Look at him cheesing over there.
Has a champion.
Yeah.
I was very happy for the guy. Did you watch the finals?
I did not. I was sleeping.
Honestly think it's worth going back and watching. I snuck away at work to watch a lot of it. Oh my god, it was so worth it.
Yeah. This was, for the most part, all good top 8 games on stream.
Yes, I thought it was all enjoyable. I will say, watching Miraidon, there was a couple questionable plays there by Robert.
A bunch of them.
And not like bad plays, just risky plays.
Yeah, I think the pressure got to him.
Maybe. I don't know if he would have won overall, but I think he could have done.
Would have got a game 3 for sure.
Let's take a look at his list
we're going to start with the Miraidon list. He plays a very interesting Miraidon list, in my opinion. So when we first came into Scarlet and Violet, Miraidon was the first deck that I built and then played. It's just very, very similar to my list. I don't play the Flaffy. He doesn't play the Flaffy.
Now, do you play the Crams?
Yeah, this is where I was going to say the list is very different. So for the most part, this list is pretty standard. He has an Echoing Horn. I don't. But, I play this spread pretty evenly. The thing that was major different is I play the Klefkis.
Yes.
And I play a couple more switch outs that are not switching cart. He plays a 4 switch cart, 3 Cramomatic spread, which honestly, thinking about it, makes a lot more sense. He also plays the Radiant Greninja. I do not play a Radiant at all. So this feels like the standard list that it should be going forward. Klefki is clunky, and it could get in the way. being able to guarantee start your Miraidon or Raikou to be able to get that draw, or
Yeah, because starting any of these cards, any of these 3Vs
it's not bad.
None of this feels bad to start. Really.
And I guess I'm a dummy. Switch Cart, of course, makes perfect sense as your switching option. You shouldn't be playing Switch. You should be playing Switch Cart because Regieleki VMAX, your only Pokemon that can't be targeted with Switch Cart, has free retreat.
Yep.
So yeah, it just makes so much more sense to play Switch Cart, especially in that Lost Box matchup when they're spreading those damage counters around. You've seen it on stream with him earlier during Swiss rounds where he played all 4 of his Switch Carts in one turn, and he retreated and then he switched carts between 2 different Pokemon 4 times to heal up 60 off of each of them, and that pretty much sealed the game away. That damage adds up. And then the Cram-O-Matic was an incredibly interesting play that ended up obviously doing well for him. He got top 8. It's really that's great. I play a Sky Seal Stone. I think probably just more Forest Seal Stone makes more sense to be more consistent.
Because it looks like what he's going here is he has
pretty consistent.
3, 2, so 5, 9 outs to Electric Generator.
Yeah.
To get him charged up as fast as possible. 15 energy.
Yeah.
That's more than you were running, right?
I got 13.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
15's a lot, which makes sense why you start running Greninja because you're going to have a lot of extra energy in hand that you need to get rid of.
Yeah.
This deck is very turbo.
I like this deck list. My fiance plays the 1/1 Flaffy line. I'm trying to talk her into becoming more like this list. But yeah, and also
I like the list.
He did good on stream.
He did very good
in Swiss, and obviously got top 8, so that's nice.
He was the people's champ, at least for me.
Yeah, me as well.
Let's take a look at Trevor and Eric's list here. They're pretty similar. They're both Lugias. We'll see if there's any major differences between them. But let's start with Eric's first.
Yep.
Eric here running 3/2 line of Lugia, 4 Archeops, and then a 2/2 line of Duraludon, 2 Tyranitar, and then a couple
Can you
of
click on
your. Yes, I can.
Good.
So you can see Tyranitar V here doing 240 damage. You throw what you're going to need 4 single strike energy on him. He's hitting for 320 damage.
It's a lot of damage.
KOs
and
everything.
He has a 230 number, which is good for a basic.
Yeah, pretty good. He's not taking damage because you used to run single strike with Houndoom, and you would have to put damage counters on the Pokemon to get there.
But you don't anymore.
You don't. And then obviously you have Duraludon as a backup attacker, which is just great in the mirror match.
Yes. It's also a single strike. It's also a single strike card, so it can be targeted with that. You can play the Impact Energy, which allows you to play a Rainbow for single strike, which is great. This Eviltal that he's playing here as well is great against Mew. It's good, hitting very hard.
Yeah, because single prizer that kills Mew.
Because single strike energy, I believe, is before weakness. So you throw 3 single strike energy on there, you're KOing a Mew VMAX.
Times 2 is 340, and that's enough.
Radiant Serena for the Lost Box matchup, of course. Urn of Vitality makes perfect sense for this deck. You want to be recycling those energies as much as you can. Capturing Aroma is the big argument going into the weekend. People were saying Great Ball or Capturing Aroma, which is better? They did the math, and it depends on your deck's size, like how much is left in your deck. But
at the beginning,
Capturing Aroma seems to be the sauce for getting your Archeops and stuff that you want into play.
Give me a second here. What does Impact Energy do?
So it's just a Rainbow, but only for single strike energies, and it can't be poisoned.
Okay.
So, but
Curious.
Obviously makes perfect sense if you're going to be playing Duraludon, Tyranitar,
now,
Stone
a favorite
Journer,
of yours
Eviltal.
is in here, Regenerative Energy.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's good, especially with Duraludon.
Yeah.
Because you weren't using it too much anywhere else. You could throw it on your Lugia and maybe it would come in handy.
I was doing it for the slow.
Makes more sense with Duraludon though.
For the slow start of the Lost Box matchup, that's why I was playing Regenerative Energy, and it came in clutch.
Let's take a look at Trevor's, see if it differs that much here.
Nothing too crazy. Pretty much.
Runs a Pumpkaboo.
Identical. Yeah, running a Pumpkaboo.
A little different.
Was homie running Mesagosa Collapsed?
Eric was.
He was running Collapsed and Tower. So this guy was running Mesagosa just for the extra, basically being more Capturing Aromas kind of for you.
Well, even better than Capture Aroma. It's just grab any Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which could be Archeops, could be
Thornton,
Duraludon, could be anything.
The Thornton play, not bad because you could always Thornton into Lugia.
Yeah. This is pretty similar, a little more techy, I feel like. Good list. Let's look at the Goodra list.
So that
Aiden here.
Lost Box Goodra.
Pretty standard stuff. 2 Drapions.
You've seen that a lot going into the weekend. Even with Alex's list, which we'll talk about in a second. Double Drapion for the Lost City, just to make the Mew matchup stupid easy for you, especially in a best of 3.
I don't think there's anything too spicy here, really.
No,
this is just standard Lost Box Goodra. I think so many good players took this deck, so it's bound to be in the top 8. It just does good against a lot of decks, and you have to work pretty hard to get this Goodra knocked out. Just a solid list.
Star.
Not too much to poke at here. Let's look at Pedro's list.
So the Pidgeot was the interesting play for Pedro's list.
If you don't know.
Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may shuffle it and all attached cards into your deck. If you have a Stadium in play, it does what, 80 more damage?
Sorry. Yeah, it does 160.
So 160. So yeah, you can play that in the mirror and stuff like that, just to cycle it through.
Pedro's list is kind of techy. He has the Mawile as well.
Trapping it in the active.
Yep, traps your opponent's Pokemon in the active. It's got Meltank, and it's also got Halucha to do some ping damage. Nothing else in here really screaming too interesting, but this is just consistent Sablezard with little tech cards in it. Makes sense, especially when you're doing. I feel like it's not bad to throw a couple tech cards in Lost Box.
Yeah, it's the perfect deck for it.
You're gonna throw them away real easy if you don't need them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're good. Let's see here. Let's look at Pablo's list. This is an interesting Mew list.
This list to me is mostly mass consistency with a couple of interesting techs. You're playing the 4-4-3. That's it. No Oricorio. He said we don't need the Oricorio. And then he's playing 4 Cram, which is a high number. 4 Lost Vacuum, which is a high number. Normally you see 3 and 2, 3 and 1 even.
I think it's great because you need your outs to stadiums because
you
need to get rid of your own path.
You play 4 Lost Vacuum. That way you don't get hurt as much by your path.
Yeah. This is a extremely consistent. I'm not scared of anything you're going to do. I'm going to
play to all my outs, yeah.
I'm going to play extremely hard, and then I'm going to path you, and I hope you don't have it.
The Feather Ball, that's the one with no retreat costs.
Yep.
Yeah, so Feather Ball
just seems like a great pick when you're not running.
Allows you to grab a Mew for free. And, Avery, Roxanne makes sense. Fan of Waves was an interesting choice.
Just put it on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Fan of Waves.
I don't know. He probably had a reason for it. He got third.
Yeah,
I will say, Pablo, if you didn't watch these games
he bricked
from
hard.
EUIC, but his first game, he played extremely well, conserving all 4 power tablets.
It was insane.
The very end of the game.
It was nuts.
I don't think he even used Force Seal Stone until the very end of the game.
It was nuts, yeah.
Pablo played very well.
He did.
And I think if you are a Mew player and you want to pick it up, revisit it, look at this list. Go watch Pablo play it. It was insane.
I like Echoing Horn in the current format. I think Echoing Horn.
I think it belongs in every deck.
I agree. One of in every deck.
Yes.
Pretty standard.
Especially if you're running a boss and you want an easy target. Of course. It doesn't matter. It's good.
Fill up a bench, take a
All
slot.
Right. This, my favorite deck.
Of course, yes.
Of the tournament.
So Gardevoir is what I'm playing at locals currently. My list is going to become more similar to this.
I think I'm going to build this as well.
The rare candies was not something that I want to include. The argument going into the weekend and pretty much this whole time about Gardevoir was candy, no candy. Mewtwo V Union, no Mewtwo V Union. The argument on Mewtwo V Union is still up in the air, but the candy, no candy argument feels solved. It feels like, I guess you should play the candy. It did come in clutch a couple of times for Tord during this series.
I think where it comes most in clutch is getting you those easy knockouts on your turn 2 when you went first. Your opponent has a Lugia V, has
you got
Miraidon EX in the active.
Yeah.
Something in the active that's worth 2 prizes that you can't knock out unless you have rare candy. You Gardevoir EX, you get 6 energy in the bin, and then you swing it with Zacian for the easy early knockout, set your opponent back. So far,
this is pretty standard. I don't play the Luminion. That's he's like the only one playing a Luminion in Gardevoir, which obviously it worked out for him quite well.
When you're running these many 1-ofs,
of course, yeah,
it feels necessary.
I play one more Mew than he does. The rest of the stuff is pretty standard for me. I don't play Memory Skip.
I will say, I feel like the cards that I think Memory Skip might be a tournament card only. I don't know if you need that at your locals kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it feels like, why not?
Yeah.
I feel like you should definitely run one of them.
The Worker, you've been seeing that in some lists. Penny being in this list was really weird. Not something you would see. But you're seeing it here. It's just for the Zacian pretty much.
Yep.
Scotty Sealstone. The rest of this is pretty standard. But his techs, for the most part, are going to be the Penny, the Luminion, the Memory Skip, and then the rare candies. So looks like rare candies should be put in your list. My list is very, very close to this. I don't know what I would remove to put into rare candies.
I think I know I've said this about all of these players here, but if you want to play Gardevoir, go watch Tord. I'm talking to you here. Go watch Tord play. He plays on a clinic of playing to your outs. He did the play. There was an Arceus in the active. He dug for the rare candy, the Gardevoir, all of it.
The 4 profs was the other thing.
Yeah.
You don't see that in Guardy lists. You pretty much don't see profs at all in Guardy lists. And he said, I'm going to run for it.
It's because he wants that to be his first supporter Always. He wants to go.
Want to run
gas.
4. And I don't like that. But, hey, that's why he's the best.
I think you do it. You have the Miriam as well to deal with that. If you put some of your key, you put a Zacian, you put the Cresselia, you put Lumineon all into the bin with professors.
Yeah.
You have Miriam to go fix that later.
It becomes better with Super Rod.
It does. This is just good list. Starting Mew is so important. Helps you get your Battle VIP pass out.
That's why he got the only one.
Yeah, he prized it in one of his games.
I play the 2.
I think that might be a good call. Now let's look at our number 1 list here.
The big boy.
Alex playing
Arceus,
Duraludon, and
Alolan Vulpix V-Star. Actually seeing some play and came in clutch in his top 8 for sure.
It shuts down Gardevoir. If you don't know, Snow Mirage does 160, but it makes it to where your opponent's next turn prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon that have an ability.
Yeah, so Gardevoir.
You know which Pokemon have a lot of abilities?
Oh, every single one of your attackers.
Everything but little Cresselia here. So
it ain't doing nothing.
It is a very, very good tactic against that Gardevoir list. We saw, especially in those last games of Alex and Tord, that this became the key piece for Alex in trying to win.
And even that V-Star attack came in clutch against Miraidon.
It's just 70 for each of your opponent's Pokemon V in play. Easy, free knockout. Now, you're not going to use it that often because most of the time you're going to be using Starbirth, of course. But this is just a very good Arceus Duraludon list.
Yes, sir.
Even Alex prized his Vulpix V-Star in Game 3 and still was able to take a win using Drapion as an attacker.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of outs here. You're stopping a lot of good decks. And at the same time, you are very bulky. You have Starbirth. You have 330 HP here. You have a way to shut off your opponent's Pokemon with abilities. Runs 4 Lost City. Interesting to me. You're just trying to get rid of all possible threats here. If you knock out your opponent's one Pokemon that has a way to deal with Vulpix, too bad, too sad. Lost City was out. You're done. Duraludon. If you have a Pokemon that can get around Duraludon, they can get rid of it using Lost City. It's a very,
playing 4
very good list.
To bump the path.
Yeah. Bath is your number 1 enemy at this deck. You want to get rid of it as fast as possible. So Lost City is a great one to use. This was just a very good deck. It's not my type of deck.
No, me neither.
I don't think I enjoy playing 3 counter cards. I want to play gas. Yeah. But this was a good call by Alex here. Congratulations to him for finally getting that win. It was very exciting to watch. This is one of the best finals I've watched in a long time.
Yeah, it was a good.
You should go rewatch it.
It was a good tournament. Interesting. One Rabbit Strike Urshifu guy made it to 11th.
Yep. Anything else here in the top 20 or so that's interesting?
No, pretty standard.
Everything is what we looked at. Sander.
Of course, Sander playing his.
Let's take a list.
Sure.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of.
He's playing the Manaphy, but not that Manaphy.
Yep. This is Sander's list. This is its own video.
Yeah.
It's of course Sander. Watch Sander
playing control. Yeah.
And then let's take a look real quick at what won in seniors and juniors.
Can we?
Just kidding, it's not there. Sorry? But if I go to Pokemon's Twitter, I think they shared who won. Let's see here. We got this young lad here. Remy L. He won using Lugia. And then I think the other win was with a was it a Guardi list? Yes, it was V-Union Gardevoir.
Cool.
Won seniors, I believe.
Very nice, very nice.
So that's kind of the main summary here. Main takeaway here is you got like 8 decks to choose from now.
Got a widespread, yeah. A good
it's
solid
meta.
meta.
It's not just Lugia
only.
Lost Box, or something that counters those two. I feel like you can play a good spread of decks here. I think Gardevoir is probably what a lot of people are going to be playing now.
Yeah, it's going to be going up.
Because it is fun.
It's Tord as well.
Everybody's like, Tord's great. If Tord's playing it, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun. It looks very fun to play.
Yeah, he's the blueprint.
So I think I'm going to be playing this list.
Yeah.
Anything else stand out to you here?
No, nothing crazy.
So, what is the next big tournament? I think...
Go click major events. I don't know if it shows upcoming.
Will it show upcoming?
No, it does not.
I don't think it does. But we should have a couple regionals coming up soon.
Yeah.
To get excited for. I'm excited to play in this meta. League Cups are back.
Yes,
League Challenges are back.
League Challenges, League Cups.
We're going to actually be playing.
I know,
I can't be taking meme decks.
Nope, you got to take the real stuff.
Going in the binder.
I know.
Open out the Gardevoir. I want to win some stuff.
Anyway,
So thank you guys for watching, of course.
Yes. Shout out to PTCG Legends. That's the website we were using here to look at the deck list.
They have some great information here.
An incredible website here to look at all major events that have happened, the decks that are there. Like if you can even scroll through, it's kind of like a thing. Like here's the sets that were legal when it happened. Here's the promos and the swag and the casters that were there. People who were awarded travel awards to go there. This is an incredible tool that you should be using if you're in the scene whatsoever. And if you also just want to take a trip down memory lane, they have that stuff for you here too. So shout out a lot to PTCG Legends. We appreciate them a lot. Website. And then of course the Pokemon Twitter for posting the spread of meta decks. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Make sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let us know what you're going to be playing now that we've seen all these decks in a competitive scene.
It's Gardevoir.
Let's play Gardevoir.
Yeah.
I do not want to play Lugia.
We'll probably have a Gardevoir list on the channel very, very soon.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.